Today we ask Reddit, what's a company secret you can share now that you don't work there? Number 1. In an inbound call center. We are currently experiencing an unusually high call volume message is permanent. They just didn't staff adequately. Number 2. I used to work surveillance at a casino. From something like 3 stories high ceiling, we could zoom in on the money on the table games and read the serial numbers of the bills. We could see the pips on the dice. Policy was to not look down blouses. Number 3. I worked baggage at an airport. Nothing is handled with care. If it's marked fragile, your only hope is nice baggage handlers. You should avoid packing breakable things at all costs. Edit. Not totally true. I never had one, but we were trained on how to properly handle a casket. The training was be very careful, don't drop it, and for the love of God, don't sit on it like it's a horse. True story. That's what our boss said. Number 4. The stain protector is only useful if you actually file a claim. It isn't a magic effing potion. Most furniture companies sell some sort of stain protector as an add-on. People buy it, thinking it has some magic ability to prevent stains over the life of a piece of upholstery. Then, 5 years later, spill some Kool-Aid, and the stain doesn't come out. With most of these protectors, there's a warranty claim process that will get you a new sofa or a new set if your sofa pattern isn't made anymore, but nobody ever files a claim. That's the gimmick. The company is counting on you not actually holding them to the deal that they made you, and virtually nobody does. Number 5. In an inbound call center there is no such thing as a silent hold. You are on mute. We could still hear you, but this isn't done maliciously so we can listen in. We had targets for hold time, and putting you on mute instead, used zero hold on the call and brought the average down. Sometimes we were asking a colleague for input. Sometimes we were avoiding an awkward silence while the computer took forever to load. Personally, I did it a lot because I can fix your issue account easier when you're not yapping in my ear with stupid questions. And also I might want to call the last person you spoke to. Some very bad words for messing it up or lying to you in the first place. Number 6. I worked at a company that was basically a warehouse with some offices built in a corner. I was hired to run marketing ads. The pay was great because I learned a lot with AdWords and Amazon reselling, which led to an uptake in sales. The owner was Chinese and had connections to some warehouses in Guangdong and Shenzhen, China, where he literally just ordered products off their catalogs. We had our US-made logo slapped on their products, and the owner demanded we act made in America. I got out as soon as I could. So unethical everything about it was, but boy did eBay and Amazon love us. Almost everything on Amazon is the same setup as my above example. Next to nothing is made in the US anymore and sold on Amazon eBay. Number 7. Government-funded refugee advocacy agencies at a time were approving a disproportionate amount of young women 18 to 25 from Syria and Iraq with S3X assault history for their services. Upon further investigation, I and my team discovered consultants from said agency were engaging in sexual relationships with these girls. They were denying them opportunities of employment to keep them in financial destitution purposely. When the girls became desperate, the offer of private prostitution was made by the consultants. I whistled bleed to the organization heads. They thanked me and the consultants were gone the next day. Huge meeting with senior board. Apologies, this isn't the way we do things. Speech blah blah blah. And within 3 months me and the other 6 other complainants and investigators had all resigned from the company for different reasons. On paper it looks coincidental. In reality we were all individually pushed out. 2 of the consultants that we uncovered were doing the worst were not fired. They were given the option to resign and are currently working at other agencies with vulnerable young women. Number 8. I worked at a candy bagging warehouse like the crappy 99-cent gas station candy where we would even make trail mix by hand. Tons of sweat would drip into the mix because we would be in a 100-degree room with little ventilation. Also my boss was a hunter, So a quarter of the warehouse was dedicated to his taxidermy treasure room. It smelled like shot in the summer, but he was so proud of himself. Also should add that if the expiration dates were bad, we would use nail polish remover to take the date off. Number 9. Ice manufacturing. My shift manager dropped a 7-gram bag of herb in a bag of ice. It went out for delivery. No one ever phoned in to complain though. Number 10. The difference between the high-quality deli meat sold at M&S and the regular deli meat sold in other grocery stores is that we changed the label. We would literally stop the production line, wait for the guy who ran the label machine to swap them out, and then start it back up again. Number 11. I worked at an ISP. We lied to customers daily about speeds and delivery times. We sold internet and stations we knew were full. And DSL is just garbage. I don't have a single customer in 7 years who actually got the speeds we promised. The burnout rate in support was 3 months before people quit. If you tried to actually help customers, you got chewed out, and it was a problem. Number 12. They are out of business now, but in the early 90s I worked at Radio Shack for a year and a half. When people would return an item because it didn't work, the manager of the store would just box it back up and sell it again as if it were new. When I asked him about it, he said, "Hopefully they will return it to a different store." I nearly got fired when I refused to sell a guy a walkie-talkie CB radio that I knew didn't work. The guy was on his way out for a hunting trip and was buying 3 of these for him and his friends. We had 2 and the third was the broken one. In front of the customer, I told the manager that one didn't work and I had tested it. The guy was happy. I told him. We arranged for him to get the last one he needed at a different store, and off he went. The manager was livid with me and nearly fired me. I'm sorry, I'm not sending people out into the forest with gear I know doesn't work. Hilariously, a few months later the manager was caught stealing from the store and got fired. Number 13. I used to work at the front desk of an hotel. More often than not, if we tell you we're fully booked when you try to make a reservation, we actually are. Good. Sometimes it's just bull we make up because we got a bad vibe from you. We get blamed if we accept a booking from a person who then trashed the room, or was just all around annoying or rude to the staff. It's not all hotels I worked at that do this, but some do. Number 14. If you wear single vision glasses, you likely paid hundreds for your glasses. The lenses cost literally pennies. Where I used to work, a single lens with a scratch-resistant coating costs something like 25 cents. The high costs are the edgers and blockers which trace the frame and help position the lens correctly that cut the lenses. An edger and blocker can cost more than £30,000. Also, a lot of optical labs dump the waste down the drain. An immense number of liters of microplastic contaminated water going down the drain. Number 15. I worked in IT in the HQ of an MLM. To the public, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. Never. Behind the curtain. Everyone knows it's shady AF. People are counting the days. If you work too long for an MLM, you're pretty much stuck with MLM jobs after you reach a certain level. All of the C-suite execs that weren't there at the start came from other MLM gigs and left to other MLM gigs. And they only have that C-suite gig because they have huge followers. Not one of the C-suite people had a clue what they should have been doing. Number 16. Maple sap can be trucked in from other states, and where it's turned from sap, to syrup decides on the state it comes from, not the location of the trees. Number 17. I didn't tell anyone this before and I didn't do it myself, but if you ever wanted to steal from a store, Big Lots is super easy. It's half a regular store and half overstock. Depending on the manager there, you can get incredible deals on shot they want gone that haven't been selling well. This includes some furniture, like returned pieces that belong to a set. You can ask a manager if they have anything they're trying to get rid of. You can easily get a 30 to 50% discount just for the trouble of taking it off their hands. If they ask for a store rewards card, just give the 867 to 5309 number. There is zero benefit from the card to you. It's just to track your purchases for ads. Also, the store I worked at had two big sales each year, around Independence Day and Thanksgiving, where everything was 20% off. It is very encouraged to buy paper products like paper towels, toilet paper, paper plates, napkins, and tissues in near bulk if you can store it at your home. If you like these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon to be notified when new videos are released.